Order with the centre-back Sabisi got a bit of a lucky break with Olisa and having broken a bone. Now, what was he trying there? William, shot or pass?
I think he was caught between two minds. That was perfect for just a slight curl into the far post, get it up above the goalkeeper, and ball rolling beautifully in his own side. Yeah, I think he was looking to carry it into the far post, but it didn't. The execution didn't work out well.
Mabasa was perhaps a little irritated that he didn't get the pass. Now, a feature I think we are going to see a lot more of in the coming weeks as we have become something of a summer sport rather than a winter sport. The good old water break, or the much needed water break, we should add. You'll remember, William, playing football in the winter months, the calendar year. You started in February and you ended in November, and you had a lot of cold months in the middle, the June, July, August.
I hated those.
Mill Park on a Friday night, freezing cold. No water breaks in those days.
No, it was unheard of. These players are too spoiled. This game has become so scientific. But understandably, this is just to freshen up the legs, just to help keep up the tempo. Because what happens, Mark, listen, is as the game progresses, you have to rehydrate, because if you lose too much water, then you slow down. The body just tells you that, don't push me now, I'm about to break. So naturally you slow down to almost to a walking pace. So this helps refresh them.
28 degrees is the temperature reading out there on the pitch. It seems quite high, actually. It's nice and cool here. We're in the open stands just above. Fairly light breeze. Doesn't feel like 28 at all. It's more sort of lower 20s here. But we're not doing the workout on the pitch. That's John Mokone on the left-hand side of the defence for Magesi.
But now let's talk about the fitness levels. Pedro Picaro is the fitness trainer, or the fitness coach for Magesi, a Brazilian. His father was also a fitness test coach, but his cousin currently is the one working with the Brazilian national team. So it runs in the family, and Clinton is excited about the work that he's done. So expect Magesi to stay in the game the longest.
Well, Orlando Pirates have already proven their fitness this season. They've got a lot more in the legs as well. This is their 12th game of this campaign, a 5th for Magesi.
Which is what has given Orlando Pirates the edge over most teams. And you'd notice, Jason, that even if they don't score in the first half, you think that you got them. But towards the end, that's where most of the goals has come from. It's because of their fitness levels, because they're ahead of the other teams in the Betway Premiership. And it might be the case here, but like I said, Magesi is prepared for the battle.
Otto. Mabasa plays it off to Otto. Still they go. Nice little pass has been played off. Saleng there as well. Otto kept running. And they're just not able to get the ball up front to Makubu. The pass from Kakora again a little bit shy. Back to their defensive lines. Magesi looking nice and disciplined in terms of their formation. Mokoni clears. Makubu holds off against Sabisi.
That's why they put him there. He's a big boy. He's isolated, but he needs to be able to hold that ball a bit longer to allow the midfielders to get a little closer to him.
Dapo switches. That's an excellent ball. And then wasted really by that first touch, when perhaps there was a bit more time for Mokoni there. Rasabocha. Good interception from Dapo. Chirambadare. Was he brought down by Kimbudi? Free kick in favour of Magesi.
Look at the amount of time it takes Pirates to get the ball back when they lose it. the immediate crowd around the player that is in possession of the ball is obviously comes from the high press. It's once you lose it, you've got to be able to immediately see if you can close the action down before it gets out in that area. Even if it takes a foul, as long as it doesn't come at the costly of a card, at the cost of a card.
Now Makoa with a little push on Kimbudi, and the free kick goes in favor of the home side.
Another player that's been converted into a central midfielder, Makoa, having started as a left wide attacking player.
Nice touch, Mofokeng. Can't always get excited. This is his left foot, dragged back to Saleng. Build-up will begin again with Dlamini, with Saleng, with Mofokeng. Back inside here for Dlamini. He slips, Makoa gets the challenge in. And Abrams has a look up. Makubu will hold off against Sabisi. Needs a bit of support. Makoa and Darpo, they played with Clinton Larson at Summerfield Dynamos down in the ABC Motsepe League just a couple of seasons ago. He's very loyal, is Clinton Larson, to players that he likes. Lipikani Mzaba at the back hasn't played for 2 full seasons after leaving AmaZulu, hasn't been anywhere. But as soon as they got promoted, Larson, aware that they needed to strengthen things up, they needed experience for the big show, has brought Mzava back. Mzava played with him at Celtic and at Arrows.
Amazing, because it is the same with Pedro, the fitness trainer. He worked with him at Golden Arrows, at Chipa, and just about everywhere where he's gone.
Well, you're more comfortable with things that you're familiar with, and it's nice to see the loyalty that Clinton Larson has shown to some of these players. So he obviously believes in their ability, wouldn't be picking them just for charity's sake. Dion Hotto is another who was at Arrows and at Celtic. He's just passed the 300 league and cup start mark in South African football. Too strong from Kakora, signed for La Masia at the beginning of the season, and looks across at the bench and acknowledges whatever minor reprimand he might have got.
Something that I picked up as well, that he's a former development player of Orlando Pirates.
He'll be keen, therefore, to just remind them of the potential they might have seen in him. Van Rooyen, Saleng. There's Van Rooyen again.
Second role in Gauteng is Van Rooyen.
His cousin Ashley Dupree came a few seasons ahead of him, of course, to Kaizer Chiefs. Of course, Dino Van Rooyen, William, lifted the trophy last season, this particular qualifying knockouts for Stellenbosch. In the meantime, Kimbudi getting the admonishments of the referee, and then a little shove as well from Chipuzeze. We're past the half-hour mark here at the Orlando Stadium. Saleng to deliver. Makoa. Shirambadare. Good running here from Makubu. He needs support though. Makoa's gone forward. Yes, Chirambadare showing that old wing skill that we saw in his early days with Kaizer Chiefs. Little chip inside as well for Mashiko. This is decent from Magesi. Back out again to this makeshift winger. Here comes the cross inside. Back post chance and a goal! And Magesi have the lead. Basically their first attack stuck into the back of the net by Abrams.
Kakori, I think it is. You just said a minute ago, maybe in the back of his mind he's saying, look, I'm still here.
Here's the cross. Let's have a look at it again. It was a great little build-up here.
Abrams is it, I think, standing on this far side, waiting unnoticed, and maybe Hoto caught ball watching it. In fact, it's Kabela Dlamini that should have been able to get a little bit closer to him to stop him from scoring, but Abraham doesn't make a mistake from that close. Remember, I mentioned him, he's actually an attacking player coming from attacks. That's where he played, so he'll be familiar with that territory.
Well, are we on for a bit of an upset here in the Carling knockout? Remember, Orlando Pirates were beaten by Richards Bay, strugglers in the last campaign. It took penalties to knock the Buccaneers out in the quarterfinal of this competition last season. But they will have to come from behind, which of course we've seen them do many times before. Maybe a little lift in the tempo is needed from the Buccaneers now, but this has certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons.
And if you look at how often does Magesi get to be on the front foot and to be playing into the attacking half or creating any form of pressure for the Orlando Pirates defense? Hardly. And you just said it anyway. In that very moment, in that move, that Magesi are trying to make something out of this game just at that moment. So it means hardly did they get the chance to play on the front foot. But it's Orlando Pirates. We've seen them being able to bounce back.
Coach Ribeiro does not look happy at all. Magesi, this is their 5th game of the season, only their 2nd goal. Both of them have been away as well. Makubu scored the winner when they won away at Golden Arrows game before last for them in the league. And now Abrams has scored here at the Orlando Stadium. First visit by this club here to this venerable venue, great historic venue, of course. Much changed over the years with renovations, but this is where South African football used to happen in the 70s and 80s, William Shongwen.
I remember very well. First game was a derby here, 1986. 2-2 was the scoreline. Ricky Puga de Malone scored 2 that day.
But to be fair, you were a bit more of the Ellis Park era than the Orlando Stadium era, am I right?
It was a home game for Orlando Pirates, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, throw in here for the Buccaneers. Mofokeng says to Hoto, come on, let's get going. Dlamini. 6 changes made by Coach Ribeiro after the Cup final. There's obviously a few injuries. But players who are on national team duty on the bench, like Mofokeng and Chain in the 2 matches against Congo, are included. Maswanganyi, we might yet see later on in this encounter. But he did mention in his pre-match interview that they've got quite a tough program coming up, so he shuffled things around and looking with an eye to their next couple of fixtures. Pirates have got SuperSport United here on Wednesday, and then Amazulu at home on the weekend, away at TS Galaxy before the end of the month, and then a home game against Stellenbosch in mid-November. Champions League group phase will start with an away trip as well for them to Algeria.
That the international week was a big blessing for Orlando Pirates. I mean, even before the break, the number of games that were being played by Orlando Pirates, every game, just about every 3 days, and which at some stage can take its toll on the players. And coach, as much as he doesn't like the rotation of players, he likes to keep up with the winning team, but you have to at some stage, which is what he did in this game. But with that happening, it takes the momentum, it takes the combinations, the quality from the combinations when they do play. This is always a challenge for any coach to play rotation.
There's Makolo, who played for Marisburg United last time he was in the top flight. Here is Mofokeng.
Thought maybe they won't be able to get full points. I remember a game against Chipa, they were able to achieve that feat right here in this stadium, but now the difference is it's 2.
Some might start mentioning the old MTN8 hangover. You remember that, William? Remember Morocco Swallows when they won this competition?
Remember that clearly, very well.
Almost got relegated the same season. Not suggesting that's going to happen to this rather talent-laden Orlando Pirates squad, but maybe the partying was a little bit on the heavy side after the success at the Moses Mabhida Stadium over Stellenbosch in the MTN8 final.
It's been about 2 weeks after that, so that's sure I've been able to deal with that. I understand if it happens over the weekend and then you have a game in midweek, you know, the players can be caught in that phase often, but the work done by Makubu in this game, isolated, but his ability to hold onto the ball the longest is what eventually got these 2 goals into a situation where the players eventually arrives and they made a game out of it.
Saleng now, can they get back here, the Buccaneers? Saleng out wide, yeah, Kimbudi again! 2 passes when maybe a shot from that angle was on. Makoa will get the free kick. Now the crowd are getting a bit antsy, and I think not so much with the referee's decision, but with Kimbudi's failure to shoot then.
at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you know what, when you're in that position, he just wants to slide that ball across the face of goal, and there's a flood of black shirts arriving, and maybe, you know, you can forgive him for looking at that side as an opportunity instead of trying to crack it from such a tight angle. Sitting, allowing Paris to come to them, give them an opportunity to rest a little bit, and then when it's necessary, ping that ball forward to Makubu, who has the ability to hold the ball. It's working for them, and I'm sure that will be the case going forward, because they can't afford to play an open game and have too much numbers going forward. They need to have everybody, as much as they can, sitting back.
Well, there certainly is a shock scoreline here. And there have been lots of goals as well in Limpopo. We told you earlier that Polokwane City were leading 1-0 against Gallants. Gallants then equalized. City went 2-1 up. Gallants have scored twice.
Wow.
It's Polokwane City 2, Marumo Gallants 3 before half-time in Limpopo. 2-0 here. 7 goals in the 2 matches in the first half of the Carling knockout. Is this going to be a competition that delivers? And remember, we had 3 goals last night in Durban, plus extra time. This could well be worth watching over the next 6 weeks or so.
Fabukes, they say.
There's Mofokeng. They need him to come to the party. Van Rooyen, he hasn't put a foot wrong so far. Kimbudi. Now, was that a shot? Was that a cross? Was it all a little bit sloppy? And what changes can we expect at the break? Maswangangi and Evidence Mahopa. Ken is out, so I'm sure something's going to happen. Mandan Nikazi next to the coach. He'll have some input as well.
The only challenge for me is Paris have not been in this situation for the longest, and now will the players be able to react, and what can the coach do differently to help them come out of this hole? It's a big hole by the standard, because they're not used to it. You need a character to be able to come back from such a situation, and unfortunately they haven't been through that situation that many times to build as a character.
Kimbudi now. Up to Mabasa. Zava got just a little touch in there. Or was it? Oh, this is good work from Mabasa though. Saleng. And it's a wild attempted clearance by Chirambadare. Pirates play on here. Sisane. Dlamini. Hotto. Both goals have come from Hotto's side of the defense. Van Rooyen, pass from Asabocha. Saleng. Well, they're getting plenty of possession in good position. He has the counter with Makoa. And Mashiko inside.
Aha, Makubu again, holding ability, unbelievable.
Mabasa waits in the middle. Saleng, that's far too soft.
The opposition, whereby you'll expect him to come up with his best careless into that far post like he would have done in the past. But this time around, I think he decides to try and side-foot it straight into the goalkeeper's hands. Where is the cow?
Limbikani and Zava is in need of some treatment. Zava was in the Telkom knockout winning side when Clinton Larson was coach of Bloemfontein Celtic. 2012 they beat Mamelodi Sundowns in the final. This was the opportunity. Lovely little turn here, and Mabasa made his way into the danger zone. Saleng there, and then Chirambadare with a rather strange effort to try and clear, a little panicked. But look at the work here of the big man Mabasa.
And the right thing to do was the cutback. Once again, the flood of players, unfortunately, but maybe excellently done defensively by Magesi.
Pirates almost catching. Oh, this is great stuff from Makubu. Now Abrams. Makubu to his right. He'll play it back. Makoa. Is that a penalty? Yes, it is. A chance for Magesi to make it 3 inside the first half. Pirates defends at 6s and 7s. What are we watching here this afternoon?
Beats me. Makes it hard for me to even actually try to find out exactly from where this came from. But for me, any team that comes to play Orlando Pirates, obviously they lift up their games naturally, but you don't expect it to happen in this fashion. Now the question is just how much. Yes, without a doubt. Anybody at home, if you look it from this rear mirror or camera, Sasane does catch him flat. There's no doubt about the call.
He's given away the own goal, and now a penalty. Sasane, the celebration from McCaw, is that a little premature perhaps? And who's going to take the penalty? Looks as if Chirambadare, who's only ever scored 1 goal in top flight football in South Africa, and that was in this competition, and it was still called the Telkom knockout. Can he do it? What will be 9 years later from the spot against Chain? Chance to go 3 clear before half-time. I'm sure no one bet on that anywhere around the world.
Not me.
And he's still got to put it past Super Chain, who we've seen save penalties, notably the Nedbank Cup final. 4 minutes into stoppage time. Chirambadare saved. The follow-up scores. 3-0 Magesi. Unbelievable scoreline as we head to half-time here at the Orlando Stadium. Keeper did his part. And the follow-up into the back of the net.
Listen, the follow-up is, I think, there was not much that the defenders could do. I think the ball came straight into him and went the goalkeeper off the way, out of balance, and it was the easiest header for Chirambadala to find the back of net. And the other thing that maybe China does, he tends to face his own goal, which doesn't give him enough time to be able to react to the second take.
They are in dreamland, Magesi. It is half-time here. Players down on their knee in prayer, and the fans absolutely stunned here at the Orlando Stadium. The new boys playing in cup competition in the top flight for the very first time, in this Carling knockout for the very first time, at Orlando Stadium for the very first time. Lead here against the mighty Pirates, winners of 5 of the last 6 cup trophies on offer in South African football, by 3-0 at half-time.
and exhilarating. The Carling Knockout. Bring the energy.
Ooh, well, lots of excitement tomorrow. A new name will be on the T20 Women's World Cup trophy. South Africa up against the White Ferns of New Zealand. The action live and in high definition tomorrow. And we have to do this because there's been so much action in the first half when it comes to the Carling Knockout. Look at this. 8 goals all in all from Orlando Stadium as well as the old Peter Mokaba Stadium. Magesi FC. Magesi namhlanje. They're leading by 3-0 and the away teams profiting as well with the debutants Marumo Gallants out at the old Peter Mokaba Stadium in the lead against Polokwane City. You. We didn't say predict. Predict when those goals are going to be scored. But I think it beggars belief as to the score line. Where do we start? Let's start off at the Orlando Stadium and just dissect what has transpired there.
Yeah, I mean, that banana peel looking very, very slippery in the first 45. I mean, as we see here, we got all the Magesi players back to defend this corner. I've highlighted, obviously, Rasibucha and Dlamini, who are technically your defensive, your sixes within the Pirates setup. They're there for the security, but this is exactly where the goal comes from. This is the counter, well defended in terms of just clearing the box. And then now, how quick can Pirates recover back into their shape? There's Makubu, I mentioned, who's a willing runner, wonderful runner. Dlamini tries to press the ball, but there's not much luck. And the ball, obviously gets into a wide position again, and Makubu plays a delightful little ball into the box.
I want to then pick up where Pirates are now ball watching. Look at the space behind CBC. That's when the danger is for Pirates. But because everybody's eyes are glued on the ball, they take a while to recover, to regroup. That back four is not set. As a result, what then happens? It puts CBC in a frenzy because he's aware there's danger behind it. But look at those arrows coming in. Those are the 2 players who are going to make that late run into the box. Now, CBC has to deal with 3 players. Either he has to block the 2 or he has to deal with the one at the back. But because he opts to deal with the 2